Yes, Shalom Israel. Now, how much of you know that tune? That tune predates reggae music. All right, now, Shalom, Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatah to my brothers, Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatah to my sisters. Sorry, I don't want to do that. Yahweh Shabbat Ilatan Basham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K Jamaica began under began 1969 at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and is run by Commanding General Yahanna, the only man given the rank and authority to lead the nation of Israel at this time. What we're doing today now, what we're looking at today? We're looking at Chariots. Now you have heard about UFOs. They talk about UFOs in today's day. Unidentified flying objects. Now I can verify if what they are seeing is not the same white man making them from his secret air bases. We can't verify that. But what we can verify is that the Most High have his chariots as listed and stated in the Bible. Now, Chariots of the Most High. Giving us some Bible breakdown on chariots. What the Bible says about the Most High's chariot and what they have done, what they is doing, and what they will be doing. All right, Zechariah 5, verse 1 to 4 states, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Verse 2, And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off. As on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. Now, that song that we played earlier on, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, our ancestors have, probably before slavery, known about the chariots of the Most High. They have put it in song to pass on to generation. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot was one that came over with the slaves. Came from Jerusalem. They know of the chariots from the wilderness, from as far back as then. Now, this song was done in Kya. I have to give you now. So after what they say, you recognize the artist or their music. The four aces, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. I'm not sure what year the four aces did this, but Kya is a Jamaican beat which predates reggae music. Most people know of reggae music and love reggae music, but Kya was one of the music which reggae music came from. All right, now back to Zechariah. Then I turned. So picture Zechariah now. It's a vision in getting. So he's describing the vision. Then I turned and looked up, lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold. So Zechariah was in his vision, turn around, look up, and then he saw something. What he saw? So the angel said unto him, What seest thou? And Zechariah answered, I see a flying roll. Well, today you call it fast. The white man call it flying saucer. But he's going to describe further on what is the flying roll. Well, not as Zechariah. Ezekiel got that vision too. But a flying roll. This. I see a flying roll. The length thereof, and he saw, and he was able to tell the length of the flying roll, which was 20 cubits. 1 cubit is approximately 18 inches, approximately. 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So it's Then said he unto me, This is the curse What's a curse? A curse is the Bible use destruction, it use punishment. So all right, so the curse is definitely not a blessing. It's something bad happening. So this is the curse that goeth forth over where? The face of the whole earth. So the most I use is chariots to punish those one the lawbreaker and whoever is to get punished. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall. You steal what you do, you break the law. You swear, you break the law. So it's to punish the lawbreaker. I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts. He's going to carry it into this dimension. All right, Big Boss on Facebook. Long time no see as well. Then, sorry. Right. And it shall enter into the house of the thief. The thief is a lawbreaker. And into the house of him that sweareth, falls by my name, lawbreaker. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber and the stones there. Well, the making up of the house. So this is the punishment from the Most High. Because when those chariots covered, you would be punished. But the chariots were used for other things as well. Ezekiel 1, 16 to 17. Ezekiel 1, verse 16. Watch me. Behind you, on the chair. Ezekiel 1 and 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. So this is the description now, as it was given to Ezekiel. Beryl is greenish. And they four had one likeness. So the four is referring to, you read earlier on up in the same chapter. Ezekiel got a vision of four angels. Yeah, Israel angel. Yeah, I can tell you that. As you again didn't say that, but he saw four living creatures who we realize now is four angels. Then he said, their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Whenever the white man show you flying saucer or UFO, it's normally round and the middle of it round as well. So it's like a wheel within a wheel. Think concentric circles, right? Or something like that. Verse 17. When they went, upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. So it's flying. Picture an airplane flying. When an airplane in sky and it's mid-flight and you want to turn it, or if it want to go to the left, but what Ezekiel was seeing, this was flying, this wheel within a wheel was flying. If it needs to go up, it just wants to go down. It wants to go back. It did not turn. It's just like how the white man showed it. It just, right. That was in the Bible. That's where they got it from. A wheel within the middle of a wheel. And when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. Isaiah also, this is what Isaiah says. Isaiah 66, 15 to 6. Book of Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his what? Chariots, like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right, so 15 says, now, behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots. Yes, the Lord of chariots. You're not going to see other nations, they have them army and their war vehicle. The Most High have his too now. Right there in the Bible. And it was there all along, don't? And yeah, I didn't know. Yes, it was there. That's why we say, to get the proper breakdown of the Bible, you have to come to the UPK. You have never heard this in the church, that the Lord have chariots. Yet it's there in the Bible. Like a whirlwind. So when they come, because it's spinning, so have a tendency to spin the air below it, if they so desire. Which, all right, leads to a lot of speculation. Because trust me, America has been hit with a lot of tornadoes, especially recently. They wonder what is happening. Now, so these chariots is to render the anger of the Most High and his rebuke unto us, the lawbreakers, Israelites, and those who the Israelites who follow the other nations. It's really the other nations he come in for, to punish them. Coming to punish for the way they treat Israel. But, and I'm not talking Israeli, the Israel in the Bible, the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But many of us have gone astray and following the nation. So many of us will be caught up by, so he tell you how he's going to render his anger by fire and by his sword. Sword is a weapon, and it spits fire. Many times you see in the Bible where fire from heaven, yeah, these chariots up there in the cloud. You're not going to know because the Most High don't show you. But there was one other person who saw a chariot of the Most High, and he wasn't in a vision. That was Elisha. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. So the Most High will be slaying a lot of people when that time comes. Ezekiel 1:22. We're showing you where in all the places, well, most of, where the chariot is mentioned. And the likeness of the firmament upon the head of the living creature. So this now was the Ezekiel's vision, where Ezekiel was seeing Ezekiel was seeing the flying role that Zachariah would have seen. But he have another description where he says, the firmament upon the edge of the living creature. Now, you have to understand, why it's a firmament. Firmament is talking about, it means heaven. Normally, when the Bible talk about firmament, it talk about that part over your head. But Ezekiel is giving his description according to how we can explain it. So he notices he sees something covering over the head of the living creatures. And that thing that was covered over the head of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal. Why you call it terrible crystal? Well, today you say glass. But think of a glass being unbreakable. He call it terrible crystal. Stretched forth over the head of the living creature. So they were in this flying roll, our chariot, our spaceship. But I dare to call my father's vehicle UFO because it is being identified. It's a chariot. Right. So it was clear, which means that he was on the outside and he could see who is inside of it. But he realized that something is over that person's head, or over that living creature head. So the firmament over my head looked like the terrible crystal. Wow. Right, so that's Ezekiel. Let's journey back now in the time of Moses. That one. So just show this. Okay. There. Time in the wilderness now. In Exodus. There was UFO sightings. Sorry. Chariot sightings. Exodus 13, 21 and 22. Exodus 13. All right. All right, we should have reading for us, Officer Akaya. By the way, I am Officer Abada. Our one reading should be to Officer Akaya. And we're going now to
Exodus chapter 13 and verse 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
So the Most High went before who? The children of Israel that Moses was leading from captivity out of Egypt. And repeat that part.
And the Lord
repeat where you're reading from.
Exodus chapter 13 and verse 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud
Mm-hmm.
to lead them the way.
All right, so the most I normally hide this chariot from us. You can speculate as to why, but it's not stated why. And it's shrouded in cloud. So that cloud, as described by Moses, but what was in it was a chariot. That cloud, because how you know it is, because other scriptures after refers to the Most High riding on the clouds and all that. So you know that that cloud, and they knew too. The Israelites knew that it was some chariot of that. Probably that's why they were so stubborn. Because they know it was a vehicle up there. But I can't make any excuse to them. They're just tough headed. Not much has changed. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light. All right, think of you being in a dark room and you have a flashlight. Bam, you turn on the flashlight. That's what. A pillar of fire. You know? Why call it pillar? Pillar. Pillar. Why they call it? A pillar normally of the beam. Sorry, straight, coming up. They call it a pillar of fire. Today, maybe we would say a beam of light. But you have to understand the Bible. The prophets then explain according to how they understand it then. So he said a pillar of fire. It wasn't necessarily a blazing fire like how we know fire. It's light. Basically, it was saying light. To give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. So the chariot was there with them, enshrouded in the cloud, guiding them during the day and during the night as to where they should go. So picture this in today's day. I mean, we know of the power of flight, we know of flight now. Then that wasn't common. Man did not attain that technology how to make things to fly. So I mean, if you see that and it's the most and you know that is your God leading you out of that land, that should be all inspiring, you know. But when you each time I read this story of my ancestors, you know. But anyways, I mean, which of the God, which Buddha, what's the name of the Muslim again? The God of the Muslim? Allah, no. Yeah? No, Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad talk about Allah. But the God of the Muslim is really the Kaaba stone that they go to Mecca to look at. It's really that, you know. And them say something is in the Kaaba stone, which is a big black stone in Mecca. That the journey to Mecca, every Muslim, once you reach stage 3 Muslim, you have to journey to Mecca. As a matter of fact, that's the eyes. They say the eyes in the Muslim. So we don't have to. They had a living God. It's the only nation with a living God guiding them out of captivity. Just think of that. Let that sink in a bit. Guiding them out of captivity. And the Most High did not. And even though they were grumbling and things, because even when they reached the Dead Sea and they realized Pharaoh's army was there, Carry come here, to come kill me. Hey, think of some Jamaican. I'll give you that Jamaican. Hey, Jamaican over there, no. You see Moses carry man come and come dead, you know. Kill me, I can say, no. Now watch out. Fear them, so I can't go down the side. Watch this. Can't it? People like carry them and go kill you. That's Israel, eh? Alright, that was the Jamaican style. But really and truly, the Most High was showing them that He is their God and there is nothing impossible for Him. The army pursuing them behind, but He's guiding them. Alright, let's go to, that was what? Exodus 13, Exodus 14 now. Verse 19 to 20.
Answer. Exodus 14, verse 19. And the angel of God, which went before camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
That's what, 19? All right, and the angel of God, which went before the camp. Now, in 13, what did it say? It said a pillar of what? Cloud and a pillar of fire by night. What it says in 14? The angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel. So they know it was an angel up there, you know. The angel of God did what?
Which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them.
So it was, the chariot was in front, shrouded on the cloud, and then it moved and go behind them. Why?
And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
Continue.
Verse 20. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel.
So the Most High separating them now. Separate. You see? It's the same thing going on in the end again, you know. This is the separation again from the separating the sheep from the goat, you know. So even though they were right there behind the camp of Israel, they could not advance to them. Yes, but you know, here was also stupid too. That's why the Most High says him, that was what he was built for. For him to show his power through fear, because fear was the greatest thing in the world. Then, you know, that was the super. Think of America now. America is what? Superpower of the world. Well, back then when the Most High freed us from Egypt, Egypt was the superpower then. So the superpower was right behind Israel's camp. I remember we were the least then, you know, because we were slaves. We had no weapon. So this was why they were fearful, because they know the might of the Egyptian army. So the Egyptian army was right behind them. But the Most High have his angel in his chariot who send down this thick cloud and separate both camps. So they could not see through that thick cloud. But when the cloud moved, they advance as well. You know, trust me, warriors is really fearless, you know. Yeah. Warriors are really fearless. That's why the Most High is building up his warriors to be fearless as well. All right. So what that is what? Verse 1. Verse 19.
Like it, sir. It wasn't finished. That was verse 20.
No. Oh really? Yes, continue.
And it was a cloud and darkness to them.
Right, so the Egyptian was seeing cloud and darkness. Continue.
But it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night.
Ah, separate in both camps. So the angel up there in the chariot. All right. Take me to Jeremiah 16 and 16.
Jeremiah 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them.
All right, so the Moses was using his chariot then to guide Israel. You know, that's why we plead unto our people, you know, get into the truth. Your religion don't teach you truth. Plain and simple. And that religion shroud your eyes. The priests and pastors are the ones who know the truth. They don't teach you the truth. Because if you know the truth, then you won't be needing them. Because they are going to see behind what is happening. So in today's day now, the Most High says, in repeat of what happened then, because the same thing is going to replay, you know. Coming out of Egypt, the Most High uses chariot to guide you. Today, this Egypt or this Babylon is modern day America. And his chariot is guiding you. Yeah. What is he saying here? I will send for many fishers, said the Lord, and they shall fish them. They shall fish you. That's what we are doing now. We're fishing you, the lost of Israel, telling you the truth. That you have to come back to the Most High. Leave out of this religion and come back to the Most High. And I am boldly telling you, the home of the truth is the UPK. That's where it began in 1969. Or we would all be still lost. You see how the pastor, look for yourself, read the news. Read the various news that are out there. How far and how astray your church leaders are. Pedophilia, sexual immorality, homosexuality. The church is so full of it. Does that look like where the Most High dwell? Right, and they tell you, baptize and everything will be alright. Well, trust me, if you're homosexual and you go to the church, they say, come as you are, you're coming up, you're baptized, you're wet homosexual. You doubt me? I saw a picture of a pastor at his pulpit preaching. In, the J flag color now, they use the rainbow. They were in, if he was in a rainbow suit, up on the pulpit. There's another one who openly married his pastor lover. The two pastors get married. Yes, that's not tolerated in the UPK. That's not tolerated in the way that the Most High has given it to us. We fell because we went astray, but we are coming back on track since 1969, and it's up to you to come back on track. Or if you want to continue to follow them, I can tell you you're going to die with them. I'm going to show it to you, you're going to die with them. So the Most High is saying that he sent for many fishers. The UPK is doing the fishing today from 1969, and the fishing won't continue forever. Why? Listen. And after?
And after will I send for many hunters.
Yes, so after the fishing comes the what? The hunting. Why?
And that they shall hunt them from every mountain.
Hunt who? Those, the nation. You see, those who are the powers of the world, when Christ returns, they are going in hiding, you know. They will be going in hiding. So the Most High say, when they gone in hiding, he will be sending his hunters to hunt them on every mountain and from every hill and
out of the holes of the rock.
What's that talking about? What's the hole of the rock? Who can tell me that?
Bunkers.
Trofan. Chief. What do you say, officer?
Bunkers.
That same nuclear bunkers that they build.
Oh.
And those, they call them DUMBs. Deep, D-U-M-B. They call deep underground military bases. And you have people, you have persons who make their they call them their shelter, fallout shelters. But you see how the Bible comes into life. Couple of 50 years ago, you wouldn't understand this way. You would think that they're going to lift up they would dig under some big rock and go to hide there, you know, or run up in the mountain. No. Talking about these deep underground military bases, these bunkers, these I call them again, nuclear bunkers. So the Most High says, after he finished with fishing, what we are doing now, and Christ's return, they are going to hide, and he's going to send his troops to go and hunt them and dig them out of these underground military bases. Yeah. And you know, they know that. So they have everything set up, blow them outside. That's why they have a lot of drones and them, you know. So they want to stay under there now, and the drones up on top, searching and can drop hellfire missile at them. But they have another thing coming. They have another guest coming. And it's not so far away. By the end of this class, you will see how close you are. You're right in between two wars. One gone and one to go. It's all right. We got him into that. We finish with that one. That was one.
Sir. Con.
That was one. Jeremiah 16 and 16. All right, back to the wilderness now. Exodus 33, 9 to 11.
Exodus chapter 33 and verse 9. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle.
What do you mean by it came to pass? It means it came to be. It happened. Continue. Exodus 33,
9.
Continue.
The cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord talked with Moses.
Hold on. That was start again. It happened. It came to be as Moses entered into the tabernacle. The tabernacle was that the temple that they constructed in the wilderness that could pull down and move with the camp. That was it then. But as Moses went into this tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended. Chariot of the Most High again. Shrouded in cloud. And
stood at the door of the tabernacle.
And it stood at the door of the tabernacle. And
the Lord talked with Moses.
And the Most High spoke with Moses. Continue.
Verse 10. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door.
So this was in full view of the people. They saw what is happening.
And all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door.
So they did what?
And all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door.
Right. So every man went to they were in the tent and the pillar of cloud came down. And they came out of their tent. And they worshipped the Most High. Every man in his tent door. Continue.
Verse 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend.
So the Most High came down in his chariot at the tent door. But of course, you know, Moses he wouldn't show his face to Moses. He can't, and Moses would die. So that's why he was shrouded in cloud. But Moses heard his voice. And they were doing what? Give me that in Jamaican term.
More than a reason.
They were more than a reason. Yeah. Oh, we know that. Continue.
As a man speaketh unto his friend, and he turned again.
If I come and look for you and I come to your house, and I come at the door, and I talking to you, like two virgin reasoning. That was the way the Most High treated Israel. The Israelites. That was how close we were. Have you ever read where the Most High come down and reason with any other nation? Never. Never. But you know, tough it. Most High has never talked to any other nation like this. Read what we are, 11?
11.
Read over 11.
Exodus chapter 33 and verse 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp.
All right. Can move on from there. Showing that the Most High came down in the chariot, speaking to Moses as two brethren holding a reason. All right, next stop now is what? Same Exodus, chapter 34 and 5.
Exodus chapter 34 and verse 5. And the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord.
This was when, read further up, this was when Moses went in Mount Sinai again for the commandments. And what he says? And the Lord
descended in the cloud and stood with him there.
So the Lord again come down, chariots shrouded in cloud, and stood on the mountain with Moses and proclaimed his name. Proclaim the name of the Lord. All right. Let's take a look at Elijah's time now. Now this is where it gets a little more clearer. Let's go to 2 Kings. All right, let's go to 2 Kings.
2 Kings chapter 2 verse 11.
All right. So the Most High, you have read in the Bible where the Most High says he has never left Israel, you know. He has never left us. And when you read the Bible, you see, he was always there, even during our stubborn time.
And it came to pass as they
and it came to be
as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
A what?
A chariot of fire.
2 Kings. So, so this now in 2 Kings is Elijah and Elisha, Elijah and Elisha. You say Elijah and Elisha walking. And it came to pass as they went on, they were walking and talking, that there appeared a chariot of fire. The fire is the light, you know. It's not a blazing fire, beam of light. So the chariot come over with this beam of light and horses of fire, and parted them asunder. So they were there walking side by side, and this light, bright light just came down and parted them. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, into the chariot. Oh, we know that is in the chariot. Huh? Yeah. It says it went up into heaven, right? So how can I tell you that he went up in a chariot?
Because he carried him up in heaven.
It's not rocket science. Just read the next verse. Just read the next verse and you will know. And Elisha saw it. So Elijah went up and Elisha saw it and said, you are the Jamaican style. Yeah, what is the Jamaican for awe-inspiring? Who can tell me?
You're great.
Not fit for your play. All right. If you remember that time in the national stadium when Jamaica was going to World Cup and ball play and ball sweet, and one of the Jamaicans make a sweet play on one of the opposing side, and then your grandstand say, DC, you know that Jamaican stand for awe-inspiring. So picture that now, Elijah seed. And Elijah saw when Elisha saw when Elijah went up. But his word for awe-inspiring was, my father, my father. But I know if it was in Jamaica, you would be saying, my father, my father. And this is what he said after. The chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. I tell you, they spoke at the, they understand it. The horsemen. So he saw who was in the chariot. They were the one they call the horsemen. Because remember, the terrible crystal over the head of the living creature. So when you look up, you see the chariot of Israel. Because what? He would have read from when we came from Egypt and know that there are chariots, but he's not actually seen it. So it's all inspiring to him. And he said, the chariot of Israel and the horseman. And by the time he said that, it's gone. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them into pieces. Well, that was the style of Israel, tear their clothes. Because of sin, we were against sin, and you see this holy thing. It took all them clothes and tear it. It was the style when they see a clothes, they tear your clothes. So he was just repenting, basically, when he saw what just happened. Now, what will we be saying when we see the chariot, the chariot swinging low, coming to carry us home? When it comes to Jamaica, are we going to give the Jamaican awe-inspiring remark? I hope not. All right. Let's now go to Job. The most I spoke to Job to, Chariot again. Let's go to Job 31 and 8.
38 and 1.
Sorry. 38 and 1. Job chapter 38, verse 1. What thing I gave it before?
Job chapter 38 and verse 1.
Yeah.
Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind.
Right. So, you remember the whirlwind took up Elijah. So here in Job now, the Lord what?
Answered Job.
Stick up it. And that whirlwind that took up Elijah, Elisha saw what happened, the chariot. And so you know that the whirlwind came from the chariot. So here in Job now, it says what?
Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said.
So the Lord spoke to Job out of the same whirlwind, the chariot. 40 and 6. Job 40 and 6.
Job chapter 40 and verse 6. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind and said.
Whirlwind again, the chariot. So the Most High was in the chariot. Well, probably no, it was the Most High speaking to Job when the Most High was reprimanding Job and telling him to man up. When Job started, he said, well, you know, these things happen and I don't commit any sin. The Most High answered and said, hello, can you recall what happened yesterday? Can you play it again? Can you recall the wind that just blew past? Well, do you know how this heaven is stretched out? Huh? So the Most High was reprimanding Job, telling Job to man up, take some punishment, because I'm testing you. Right. So the Most High, but watch this. This is the respect that the Most High had for Job. He came to Job in his chariot and he spoke to Job. Damn. Would you go to Job suffering today just so that the Most High can come to you? That would be interesting. Well, we know it ended. Job gained more wealth than he had before. So you would say, well, yes, maybe, because you know that you're going to be rotten rich after. But anyway, the Most High came to Job in his chariot and spoke to him. Let's go to Acts, New Testament. The chariot is all over the Bible. It just was too blind to see, not understanding. We just were not understanding. But hey, you know, the white man understand it though. Oh, we know that the white man understand it. Huh? Watch his movies. Watch his movies. But he is now playing you against it, because every movie that show you these flying chariots, it shows you in a bad light. Just like the American Indians and the cowboys. Each time you watch a cowboy show, you hear the Apache. You're always on the side of the cowboy and say, when you see the cowboy, bam, bam, and kill the Apache, you say, yes, yes. But who was the villain there? It was the Apache's land. Well, it's the same thing they are doing with us, calling the chariots of the Most High Ufo'S. Now, like I said before, we don't know if what they are seeing is not them same one doing it. Because when the chariot of the Most High appears, it's going to be terrible. But the Most High not going to show himself to them just for seeing sake. But who knows? Let me not speculate. Acts 1 and 9, or not?
Answer. Acts. Slacky, sir. Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up.
Hold on. So this is talking about who? What? Christ's ascension.
God.
I don't believe it. Book of Acts, chapter 1.
Chapter 1 and verse 9.
Acts 1 and 9. Oh, I was looking at 9 and 1. All right. Find it? Found it?
Answer.
All right. Read it.
Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld.
While they beheld, meaning while they were looking,
he was taken up.
While they were looking, he was taken up.
And a cloud received him out of their sight.
Right. Now, every time you see the chariot appear, it's shrouded in cloud. It's disguised in cloud. So it was a chariot of the Most High that Christ was ascended to. You remember when they show you in the first show, the show was that again. Star Trek. Beam me up number 1. Yeah. But then, the white man understand. White man, but then again, if you don't understand your enemy, you can't conquer him. And we have been conquered, which means they understand. But, sometimes you understand something which you have no control over. What they're going to do. So, but they explain, I remember the first movie in Mars, what they call it, Mars Attack. They show you the Martian invading and things. And people start, UFO, they attack you and things and blah. And that's the way the white man portrayed. But the way the Bible tells you about it, it calls them the Chariots of the Most High. So let us know that, yes, Israel, you're God of these vehicles of war for your protection. But what? If you are living in sin, he's not going to fight for you. That's what he says. So Christ was ascended in the cloud. And how we know that it was chariot how did we know that it was a chariot he was ascended in? That's what, verse 9?
Answer.
10.
Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel.
The 2 men stood. Christ went up in the sight of who? His 12 disciples. No, it was 11 then, because one gone. The one with the money bag killed himself. So it was 11 then, and they had not replaced. What's his name again? What's his name again? Judas. Judas wasn't replaced as so. Yeah, man, this is Acts 1. It's further down, Judas was replaced. So they saw when Christ ascended. Then, continue. The 2 angels were there. You want to know, angels look really Ezekiel, but they changed their form now and look like men, and they were clothed in white. Just like which other time when Christ was in the tomb, the ladies went there, they saw the man who tell them that he's not here, he has been risen. The angels come down in white. And there are other times when they change their form. Oh, Lot. Remember Lot and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? When the angels, and Lot, Abraham recognized that it was angels. That's why he ran to them and bowed his head. But Lot knew that they were holy men. It's after them start to do them things, Lot realized how that they were actually angels. They were that powerful. Start to show the power, the destructive power. Verse what, 10?
Answer. Verse 11.
Right.
Which also said.
So these 2 men said,
Ye men of Galilee.
You men of Galilee.
Why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
So they were there looking up, where Christ gone? Because it was shrouded in cloud. So the angel said, why gaze up in heaven? Continue. Because of that, from Christ went up in that God, you know. And the angels know that God. Continue.
This same Jesus,
This same Christ that you see ascended,
which is taken up from you into heaven,
which is taken up from you into heaven,
shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
so he shall come in the same way that you see him go. Meaning what? The same clouds that took him up, the chariots of the Most High shall bring him back. We will see. That's it.
Concert.
Matthew 25. What is Christ coming back to do? 25 and 32, Matthew. Christ tell you that he is coming back. But what is he coming back to do?
Matthew 25 and verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All right. So before, when Christ returns, all nations shall be what?
Gathered.
Shall be gathered.
And he shall separate them one from another.
Right.
As a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
So Christ will be returning to do what?
Separate the sheep from the goats.
Separate the sheep from the goat. And who is the sheep? Who the Bible and the prophet of the Most High always refer to as the sheep? The Israelite. So he's coming to separate the sheep from the goat. And the goat is who? The other nation. Yeah. Now, when Christians read it for themselves,
is the world and the Christian.
right. But it's not so. Who did Christ die for?
His people.
Yeah. So you know, right, from the proper breakdown of John 3:16, you know that Christ is coming back for the converted Israelites. Not all. Because those who behave like the scribes and Pharisees, they're not going to waste time with them. Because they are the ones who are always letting the nation down. All right. Acts 2, 1 to 2.
Acts 2, chapter 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. Verse 2.
So they were in one accord. They were in one spirit, body on the same page. Continue. And
verse 2. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven.
There came a sound from
heaven.
Right. Like
as of a rushing mighty wind.
Chariot shrouded in cloud.
And it filled all the houses.
Not houses.
And it filled all the house with
where
they were sitting.
So shrouded in cloud, the chariot sent that wind, mighty rushing wind, and brought the Holy Spirit on those Israelites on the day of Pentecost. And when you read further down, you can know it was Israelites. Like they tell you they are dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So the Most High's people is scattered in every nation. But these chariots also have some very destructive forces. That is evident in the Bible as well. Jeremiah chapter 4, 13 to 14. Computer just gets slow. What's that, man?
Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 13. And behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariots.
All right. So he shall come up as
clouds.
Why does the Most High say he shall come up as clouds? Here in Jeremiah. When clouds coming over here, do you hear the sound?
No.
Oh. So them coming up on you like that. Continue. And
his chariot shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles.
Why? The same way the white man show it, show that the flying disc can. Here it is evident in the Bible. That's where they got it from. His chariots are swifter than eagles. His chariot shall be as whirlwind. His horses is not no horse like they show you a picture. Christ on a literal horse. This is what they were referring to. Because why? Battling those days, the horse had the rider on it. And it have chariot pulling it. So these chariot now you could see the terrible crystal over the angel's head. So you could see who is in it. So they call it the horse rider. So the chariot would be the horse. And continue.
Woe unto us.
So it's coming to do what? What is woe? What does woe mean? Destruction. Continue. Woe unto us.
For we are spoiled.
Yeah. We are. Israel is spoiled. Like a bird that you capture and clip his wing. After the wing grow back, and fly away. Nah. Continue.
Verse 14. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness.
So it's telling, Jeremiah is saying, change.
That thou mayest be saved.
Change so that you can be saved.
How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee?
So what are these vain thoughts that we have in us?
We love the white man.
We love the white man. We want burn a blunt. We want to smoke. We want eat our pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. All. And man can go marry this man and the woman go marry the woman. Vain thoughts because they lead you where? To destruction. So Jeremiah, you see how long these things have been happening among us? So long we love the nations and their evil ways. And we are the ones who the Most High show his chariots to, give his laws, give our send prophet. He has never done this for any other nation, Just like he said in the Psalm 147.
147 verse 19.
147, 19 and 20. He has never done this for any nation, you know. But Israel, stiff-necked people. But finish there? Is there more?
That's it, sir.
That's it. All right. So drop down to 26 now. We're going to see the destruction that these chariots bring.
Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I beheld,
Yeah.
and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness.
Yeah. So you see, this is vegetative land, you know. It become wilderness. Continue.
And all the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of the Lord.
So the Lord, when Christ returned in his chariot, this is the destructive force, foretold from as far back as Jeremiah. The cities will be desolate because the attack will be on the cities. And if it's many vegetative land will become wilderness because of fire.
And,
continue.
And by his fierce anger.
Yeah.
Verse 27. For thus hath the Lord said, all land shall be desolate, yet will I not make a full end.
He will not make a full end. He said, I'm not going to destroy us all. Continue.
Verse 28. For this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black.
Right. And we have read in other places where it said, the day of the Lord is a day of darkness. So Jeremiah said, the heavens above will be black. Continue.
Because I have spoken it.
Yes. And I have proposed it. So the Most High say it, and continue. Continue.
And will not repent, neither will I turn back from it.
Right. So the Most High said, I have said it and I will not change my mind. Continue.
Verse 29.
Yeah.
The whole city shall flee for the noise of the horsemen and bowmen.
So, what bow do? Shoot. So these chariots can shoot things like fire, like missiles. So the chariot they call the horsemen and the bowmen. Continue.
They shall go into
thickets.
And climb up upon the rocks.
Who shall go into thickets and climb up on rocks? The nations who are running from the destructive force of these chariots. Continue.
Every city shall be forsaken, and not one man and not a man dwell therein.
All right. You're in the States. Picture New York City being desolate. You're in Jamaica. Picture Kingston City being desolate. Montego Bay being desolate. Spanish Town being desolate. Mandeville being nobody. Picture that. This is how the Most High is going to be destructive to the nation. Why? Because we continue. Look, we have holidays. Christmas, not the Most High holiday. You want to know the Most High holiday? Leviticus 23. Halloween, that's holiday for the witches who practice witchcraft. Thanksgiving, that's the white man celebration for killing out one of the chosen people of the Most High, the tribe of the Gadites. And they make holidays unto that. Halloween. Easter have nothing to do with Christ. That is the celebration of Ishtar, the goddess of fertility. Yeah, that is why they tell about the Easter bunny lay the egg. The egg is the first fertility. And you know, rabbit can lay fertility goddess time. And all this was sent to you, was established by Rome. And the Most High says that evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit. The evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit. Every single church that you see today is an offshoot of the Roman Catholic Church. How can I say that? Their doctrine. Where does the doctrine of these churches come from? And I'm talking about the underlying doctrine of Christianity. Not to whether if you believe in the Holy Spirit and can catch in spirit like the apostolics would say. Not if you believe in what a Jehovah's Witness might say. Not if you believe in what an Anglican might say. They all have the same white Christ. Revelation give you the skin color of Christ. And then you are saying, it doesn't matter. If it never matter, why you think the Most High put it in there? Because you know that it will come to this day that you're going to get the white Christ, that man, what we call the man of perdition, who the Most High said has to reveal. But we are revealing him. Skin color of Christ matter. Why? Because you have a false white Christ. That is the God of Christianity. When they gave the white Christ, they said that they were making a religion to control the earth. Because what? They're not going back. They don't want to go back into where they came from. The cave. They ain't going back to be cavemen. Well, they're right. Because they're going to be our slaves. Whether you like it or not. When we were awaiting our punishment into slavery, 400 years slavery, whether we like it or not, the damage was already done a couple years before the generation that went into slavery. I remember the Most High said what? He visit the sin. He visit the sin of the parents and the third and fourth generation. So when this generation commit this sin, don't believe that is now you must pay for it. In slavery. So guess what now? The white man, him commit this sin already and him waiting on his punishment. He can't do nothing now to change it. So he had to press on. Well, hence Donald Trump gave you what? The Space Force. I don't know if this increased sighting of UFO that they hear in the American news, if it's not a result of Donald Trump's Space Force. The white man is such a liar and such a criminal that he will go to any depths just to deceive you, because he knows if he deceives the Israelite, as long as he has the Israelite under his foot, he will control the world. And I said this before, I challenge any Christian to tell me which nation ever control this world and don't have Israelites under their foot. Think back from Egypt. Think Assyria. Think the Grecians, the Greeks. Well, Greece. Think Rome. Think the Portuguese. Think about the Portuguese was the first one who started the slavery. Think about the Spanish. They control it. converted the lost 10 tribes, the majority of the lost 10 tribes. That's why I have so many Spanish-speaking people in the Americans. Spanish did that. Think about the British when they control the world. Think about the Germans when they were there controlling things. Yeah, they are the real Israelite too. Think about who else? Modern day America. There's never been a nation. I challenge everybody to show me that it has. There was China. Yeah, I know you say China, don't. The Chinese have over 1 million black people there in Beijing. And you never see them on being photographed or video. They have them under their foot. Probably they are the working people in China, which the unsung heroes. Yeah, man. But this is the price we pay for disobedience. So your only way out is not to fight. When the Moses took us from Egypt, where in the scripture you see where Moses lifted a finger against the Egyptian, or the Israelites lifted a finger against the Egyptian? Yet the entire Egyptian army, including its king, was destroyed, and Egypt was forgotten until the time of Alexander the Great, who went down, himself invade, but he did not resist. He went there. So, there's never been a nation, and today is the same. The way out is to come back to the Most High. Who is bringing the destruction that we're talking about? The Chariots. Is the Israelites doing it? No, it's the Most High doing it. So, but for him to do it for you, you have to change. Because he's going to rebuild and reestablish the Israelites right back in the land that you were. Whether you believe it or not, that's the way it is. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Your pastor knows. I'm just not telling you. Because him feel as if he tell you, you know, then you're not going to give him the collection that he so wants. You ain't going to give him tithes. But throw your tithes in the nation and rebuild your nation. We finish with Jeremiah.
Cancer.
Redemption time. What is going to give Israel its redemption? Isaiah 60 and 8.
Isaiah 6, chapter 60 and verse 8. Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Who are these that fly as a cloud?
And as the doves of their windows.
Right. So the Chariots. And what are they doing? Drop down to what? Drop down to verse 10, read 10 and 12. Sorry, 10 to 12.
Cancer. Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee.
And their king shall... Now, what does it mean by their king? Their king shall minister unto you. Is it... Yeah.
Where ministers referred to in the Bible means servant.
The word minister means serve. So it's not that their king is going to come and preach to you. Their king shall serve you. But what? All right. Picture Donald Trump being a servant. Yeah, no, isn't that something to laugh at? Yeah. He's crazy saying Donald Trump to be his servant. But that's what the Bible said. They're kings. Donald Trump ain't no king. Donald Trump is president. Yeah, because they have made a worldwide sweep against monarchs and have changed them to president. It's not by chance. That's World War I, World War II. The first two war in Revelation change that. Hey, the wise man know the Bible, you know, and he's changing everything to keep you lost. Because the more you are lost is the longer him reign. And he knows that. You don't make where was it again? In what? Judith. The book of Judith that they took out the Bible. That explained how Israel can be conquered. They took that out because you're not to know, but they know. So this chariot is Israel's redemption. So when they come in, you make sure you're on the right side. Or else you don't want to be on the wrong side. You see the destructive force that they're going to bring. The cities shall be desolate. The farmland shall be made into wilderness. So what do you think going to happen? We finish now?
Sir. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
So in the wrath, when the Most High was in his wrath, it whipped Israel 400 years of slavery. But in his what?
In my favor I have mercy on thee.
It's verse away that now.
Verse 10, sir.
10? Okay. But in his favor I had mercy on thee. So that is what those who change, come back to the Most High, start keeping his commandments through Christ. Christ said, this is what we can understand. Christ said, follow me. What was the way that Christ led? He led a life without sin. So following Christ means come and live a life without sin. How do you do that? Follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. It was given unto you, Israel. Those who are the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is right there in Psalms 147, 19 and 20. What? Many of us are going to be careless and end up dying with the nations. All right. Where are we now? 11?
Concert.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually.
This is which gate? When you read Revelation, it tells you about the gates of heaven being open continually. Why? Continue.
They shall not be shut day nor night.
Right, continue.
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
So remember when we read where the Most High said it's sending fishers, which we are doing now, it's revealing right in front of the eyes, because fishing you, but they're not biting. And then he's going to send for hunters. So this is what the hunter will be doing. Read again.
They shall not be shut day nor night.
Right.
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
The forces of these nations who feel that they're big and bad and somebody can't talk to them. Yes, continue.
And that their kings may be brought.
Their leaders may be brought before Christ by the Israelites. Men, he says men. He never said angel. Didn't he say men?
Concert.
That men might bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Continue.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee.
Stick up in. Repeat that part. For the what?
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
When Christ returns, the nation, any nation that will not bring their head under Christ's leadership shall what?
Shall perish.
Continue.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Those nations shall be what?
Utterly wasted.
So you see the destruction of the white man. That is the only proud nation that we're going to say. We're going to say, not me, I'd rather fight. And here it says, the nation that doesn't do so will be what?
Utterly wasted.
Read Joel. All right, we have one more verse. No, we said 13. Continue. Oh, Andrew, 12. That's it. Revelation 11 now. Revelation 11, 11 to 13. Now we're going to look at who will be taken up into these chariots that are shrouded by cloud.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them.
All right, so this is talking about the two prophets who were dead for 3.5 days, and after 3.5 days they were made awakened. And now we know that two prophets is talking about the northern and southern kingdom. Remember those God who split the kingdom, you know, under King Solomon time. So it was the two prophets now who were made awakened. And when did this began? Quiz, pop quiz.
1969.
1969, right here right under the I.S.U.P.K. Life began to grow again into Israel. That we can come now and tell you these things. That this is the proper interpretation of the Bible. It's not what your enemy is telling you.
And they stood up. They stood upon their feet. We're
standing up.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them.
They're afraid of you yet, man. That's why I see white man killing outside in America. They're afraid of us here, man. Talk about them building wall. We don't want to build a wall. You know, wall don't only keep people out, you know, it also keep people in. And we know that America is poised for destruction. So those walls will keep them in when the fire starts blaze. They can wade the water and go over to Mexico in escape. See up there and take burn. Yeah?
Verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them.
So the two witnesses, what was it again? Prophet did say a witness. What was the term that was used? Yeah, my two witnesses. Israel is the Most High's witness. And he split the kingdom into the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom. So these two witnesses, Israel gaining life again, because for years we don't even know that we were Israelites. Till we know and know that, hold on, this whole thing is us. So the Most High is saying, continue.
Come up hither.
Come up what?
Come up hither.
Continue.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
And we know that that cloud is what?
Chariot.
The chariot of the Most High. They ascended in the chariot of the Most High. Continue.
And their enemies beheld them.
And our enemies shall see us. But you know, there's there's a church who said they are the 144 and the two witnesses. They name the religion of that witness. But we know that it is us. And I challenge that institution to show me or show where they became any witness, where the Most High sent any to make them witness. The Most High's witness is Israel. And he said two witnesses in Revelation mystery. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, when Israel split under King Solomon. And when Christ talked about the prodigal son coming back home, that was the northern kingdom coming back into the fold. But that Christ said, all Israel must be the same. Not just Judah, who was in the land at the time. All 12 tribes will be saved. So here now the Most High is saying that he said the Most High's chariot will save Israel.
Verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake.
Yeah.
And the 10th part of the city fell.
All right. So you read about the desolation of the city in where? Isaiah? In Isaiah, continue. Here it is mentioned again in Revelation.
And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000.
But I think it was 7,000. It does tell you that a large number of men will be slain.
And the remnant were afflicted, affrighted, and gave glory to God of heaven.
So those who left back, not everybody will people will have survivors. That's how the nations now is going to be forced to bow their head and their rulership to Christ. 1 Corinthians, closing note. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51.
First Corinthians 15 and verse 51.
Yeah.
Behold, I saw you.
Stick up in. Rewind. Open the eyes.
Like it there. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 51.
Yeah.
Behold, I show you.
I show you
a mystery.
Right. I show you a mystery. That is something which is not easily unraveled on sight. We shall not all sleep. Right. We shall not all perish. We read about the destruction in Revelation. Corinthians is telling us that we shall not all perish, but
we shall all be changed.
Did it say all? All right, we shall be changed. 52.
In a moment.
We shall be changed in a moment.
In the twinkling of an eye.
And how will that happen? What is it that will be saved in Israel? The Most High said he will
those who obey.
He will gather his sheep from the four corners of the earth. What will he be using? We read that in Revelation. The chariot. Right. So we shall be changed in it.
Twinkling of an eye.
All right, continue.
At the last trumpet.
Right, so that last trumpet. Sometimes the most I play on the words, we're president of America now.
Last trumpet.
Anyway, continue.
For the trumpet shall sound,
the trumpet shall sound,
and the dead shall be risen,
raised,
shall be raised incorruptible,
incorruptible. Yeah,
and we shall be changed.
right. So we're not going to be so sinful and stiff-necked. Everybody say you're going to give Israel a heart that is loving towards it. So Israel shall be made incorruptible. So them those other nations can't come give us pork and crab and shrimp and lobster to eat again. And to give us false God to worship. Give you the white Christ and Buddha and Mohammed and you name them. And making Obia legal. Goodness gracious. Continue.
That's it, sir.
No. We're going 53.
Cancer. For this corruptible was put on incorruptible, incorruption, and this mortal was put on immortality.
Right. So we are dying now because of what? Breaking our laws and things. But what do you think when going to change us? When the Moses sent his chariot and Israel actually will be riding in those chariots. That's where you'll be changed and made incorruptible. No nation can't come tell you anything again after that. And then after that, you will have that guts and that immortality to go and fish them, just like it says, out of every hill and every green hill and from under those deep military bases. So impossible, don't. But don't you sing all the time? Only believe all things are possible. Eh? Well, let me tell you, Israel. The Most High said it, and he said he will not repent from it. The destruction is coming and the saving of his people. The only thing you can do, is decide if you want to be saved. Or if you want to continue to party and be a war. And by being a war, I mean, the Most High always refer to Israel going to other religion as being poor. Right? So it's up to you to continue being a war or change. So that when those chariots come for you, you're on the right side, not on the destructive side. Remember, coming out of Egypt, the chariot was there between Pharaoh and who?
The Israelites.
The Israelites. So it was a savior unto Israel and what to fear? Destruction unto fear. It's the same thing today. It's the same thing. When Christ returned in those chariots will be a savior unto the Israelites who decide to be saved, while it will be a destruction to the nation. That's what the Bible, that's what it says. The nation. And those Israelites who keep on following the nation and believe that the white man loves them and the white man can be saved. The white man don't want to be saved. He is unrepentant. Have you ever seen him do anything and repent? When George Bush invaded Iraq and they realized that, well, he knew what he was doing. But when story come out now and the nation know that there was no weapon of mass destruction, George Bush held a press conference and they show a video. And they said, well, maybe the weapon of mass destruction is right here. And they show a bomb coming and just boom, the place disappeared. And they said, nope, not there. Well, maybe it's right here. He joked about it. He is unrepentant. Just like Donald Trump, just like all the presidents who have led over them, just like all the British is unrepentant about slaving you, oh, get over it. Now, the sweetest thing, they tell you about get over it and move on. We're moving on. But you are the one who won't be getting over it. Because what? The Most High have a score to settle with you. All the nations who have hurt Israel in the past. Oh, really? You know the white man have this thing where they love to say, so if my father steals something, remember it wasn't me, no? Should I be the one to pay for it? But guess what? What is the statutory limit on theft? There is no statutory limit, you know. So if something was stolen, like the African art, that the Europe is saying that they're going to give back. It was this generation who stole it, but it's in their possession. So Israel was stolen and murdered and enslaved and mistreated, and all manner of evil done unto Israel. And they are found in whose hands today? The white man there, the same white man, and they are saying, but it's not me do it, it's found in your hand, and there's no statutory. Imagine, you as a human, you live for 70, 80, 90, 100 years. You're dead. You're gone. Think of a God that cannot die. And when you reincarnate, he knows that it was you. This new person, oh, is you. You are the one who did this evil back then. And I shall bring the what? And the fourth and fifth generation. Yeah, so you're gonna pay. They will be paid. There's nothing they can do about it. But you, Israel, can do something about it. Find yourself on the right side. And with that, I say, pay your tithes, build a nation. Yahweh Shai Barakatah to my brothers. As he saying, peace and Christ bless you. And Yahweh Shama Il Atan, Basham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. Most I bless you and be with you until we meet again. Shalom.